What is up, YouTube? Today we're back with another Etheria restart video, and it's going to be going over Gianc and Schwan Lee's summons and debut and seeing them how they perform in RTA and other areas of the game. I'm a little bit nervous because I don't have that many resources and I really don't want to whale, but if I have to, then I will. Before we start this video, thank you Etheria Restart for sponsoring this video. Unfortunately, they didn't sponsor the polls, but that's coming out of my own pocket. But that's okay. If you do enjoy, please drop a like, comment for the algorithm, subscribe if you haven't already, and let's get right into it. All right, here we go. One tap, Schwan Lee, GG. Gold. No! I think I have to whale. Oh, shit. Uh-oh. Please. Please, gold. Gold. Oh!
Five minutes later.
XD, I hope you're happy, okay? I spent $15. Alright? Now please give me Xuan Lee. Don't ruck me, please. Gold? Oh! Let's go! Let's go! Okay, you know what? That's okay. I'm totally fine with that. You know what? XD, I forgive you. We're back. Let's frickin' go. Okay, now we have a Gianc. Please. I also can't. I can pity with crystals, but hopefully I don't have to pity. I hear he's already been pretty good actually. Purple. No. I need the summon currency anyway, so it's not a huge deal for the kinetic summons, but maybe we get lucky. Okay, gold here, 30 pulls. Oh. Gold. Nope. Unfortunate. Okay. This is gonna be a quick pull, okay? Just insta skip. Nope, didn't work. Juju not good. 10? Come on, gold. Bro, it's looking like a pity. It is looking like a pity. I might be cooked. It's actually a pity. It's actually a pity. Dude, stop, please. It's not funny anymore. It's not funny. Gold. Six summons. Alright. I guess I have to individually pull them. Oh! Alright, well, there we go. I mean, we didn't pity it. It was basically pity, but nice. Alright, so let's talk about how I'm going to be building Gianc and Schwan Lee. To be honest, when I look at the units, I think that the winner of the two is going to be Gianc, just on paper. I just finished building them. I have not done anything yet. Okay. Now, just for context, in one pity, I was able to get a P2, or sorry, P1 rather. So I do have an extra 5% on the prowess, which I don't think is going to be a huge deal. I'm not no whale like P5 or something like that. So, don't worry. Now, for his build, I'm going with Wellspring, Bulwark, and Ether Plague. Now, the reason why I am opting to go with this build, I think it's a pretty common build, is it allows you to get a ton of free stats from the actual set bonuses. You get 45 plus 10, which is 55, and then additional 25 from Ether Plague is 80% HP just from these stats alone. Now, I'm running 70k HP so that my S3 can really pack a punch, and my current last priority, I have it at max on skill 3. Skill 1 is still 115, so I think that's probably the minimum I'm going to be running him on. I think you can go 114 just to save one lattice, but I decided to just put it in there because why not? I think he is going to be really good to use. And the shell I'll be using is Champion Gator, and I unfortunately only have a 26% surge. If I was 30%, I'd probably be closer to that 71% threshold. And don't ask why I have Shadow Dash on it. It's simply because of the fact that I rerolled it one time and it hit red 20. Am I really going to throw away a red 20? Yeah, I don't think so. So, the passive effect of the third one, I do think you want to go for either Dauntless, or you can go for Assault, because it is kind of interchangeable on, many different characters. If you roll a red Assault, you probably keep it. But for me, I'm probably going to try to go for a max Blade of Oddity, so that I can get the extra 12% damage on the S3, which I think is going to be the difference on whether I, get the kill or I miss the kill. With that being said, I mean, we might as well do it now. Hopefully, we get lucky. Because if we get... Oh, that's not exactly a red blade. Okay, that's not oddity. That's not oddity, but I'm really happy to see some reds. Show me a red, baby. Show me a red. Come on. Show me a red. Come to Papa, please. Don't zuck me. Don't zuck me, please. 4% is better than 2.5. If it's red Dauntless, I'd probably keep it. Or even yellow, but... That is... Okay, I'll take the yellow assault. Sorry, I meant to say assault, not dauntless. Come on! Blade of Oddity! Blade of Oddity! Blade of Oddity, please! Please. Alright, it's cooked. Alright, well, we got an assault. Good enough. I'll use that for now. So that's going to be the build that I have running on Gianc at the moment, 70k HP, which I think is going to be really, really big damage on the S3. Now, looking over at Schwan Lee, I currently have her on a relatively slower build. It's going to be 2.45 defense. Now, I do want to say my lattice priority right now is 111 just because I don't have any lattices. But in terms of lattice priority, I would suggest you to invest in basically everything. Obviously, you need the defense stats from the S2, and on the S3, you're going to be getting the extra crit rate that makes building her actually a lot easier, which kind of allows you to go for more of like a crit damage, crit chance, and defense bonus on your right side of gear. Because without, obviously, P4 and also without the free stats from here, it's going to be pretty hard to build her. But nonetheless, I am going on a Swift Rush, Bloodbath, Swift Smite build. I don't think I can play her actually turn 1/2 too well, but I'm going to try anyway if I can play her with Tyrandot. I think there's some potential because with a 30% push, you should be able to bridge for the most part. So I have her at 2.45 defense, as I mentioned, 98 crit, and it's close to 100 as possible, and I'm running crit damage. Now, I do have defense bonus right side. I have crit rate and crit rate, unfortunately, because for the reasons, like I said, I don't have enough lattices to invest in her at the moment. Now, the shell is going to be Jackal Guard because I have perfectly Crystallization, Unparalleled, and Blade of Disorder because this was kind of unused at the moment. So I was like, this makes sense, right? I might as well put this on her and test her out and see how she does with Tyrandot. And Bloodbath gives you that potential to kind of play, if you have like a Doki Doki that's fast as like a turn 2 player, for example, something like this, right? 348. You can just bridge her up and then get her skills going, and then it'll be really good value. So I'm going to try testing the 2 of those units in RTA with Gianc and the Schwan Lee debut. Hopefully they work, and hopefully they don't fail. So let's get right over there. All right, so into the first game we go with Gianc on my time, actually Schwan Lee on the other side. I'm going to use Doki Doki to boost my entire team up, and I can see that they are 97% on the bet. So I'm going to go for the turn meter and apply my cleanses early. I'm going to have a huge S3 turn here with Ray Mary. Big damages. And then Silence is going to have to go for S3 here to refresh barriers and then apply Forgetfulness, hopefully, which I was able to, luckily. Gigabyte actually doesn't cut since my Ray Mary was able to push it back far enough. Nevette's going to S3 into nothing because I have Bulwark on my Gianc, so I want to see exactly how much damage this is going to be able to do. I am very curious to see how much we can do here. So this is S3 AoE, so let's let it rock. Let's go. That was okay. I mean, that wasn't exactly that wasn't exactly as much as I was expecting with 70k, but I mean, that's not bad though. It is not bad. I'm gonna be able to cleanse off with Ray Mary, so and then maybe go for some terminates. So it's not a horrible spot for me to be in, actually, I would say. That follow-up hit is big from the Schwan Lee, though. You can see the Doomcrow really putting in work right there. I'm gonna S1 to try to lower down the Schwan Lee, and then I cleanse here, and then I can terminate on the Schwan Lee. Boom, she gets terminated. I proc Ray Mary. Beautiful turn meter steal, and then that's going to be the game. Let's go. All right, so this game we actually have Schwan Lee and Gianc together, and you can see that I have it paired with Freya and Doki Doki, almost as like a kind of double. I just have like some tempo, I guess, and survivability with the two. So I'm gonna go for an S3 here. Now, hopefully with the Freya, I'm actually going to be able to apply Nightmare. That did my Nightmare. That's not bad. Now, unfortunately, Mizuzumi is going to cleanse it right off because Reaper Steps will cut. However, he is playing solo DPS Hoyen. So I think it's okay because the Codex Beyond is actually not tuned properly. So he has to kind of waste the... He has to go for S3 here because he can't waste the S2. Lowen's going to go for the taunt, but I think I'll be okay just simply because I do have the cleanse from the Doki Doki setup here. So hopefully I can get my Gianc and my Schwan Lee going together. So I got Insta Cleanse. This is going to give me the speed buff and defense buff. Defense down. Honestly, I'm down to just S3 because I can refresh my defense buff and speed buff. Well, refresh defense buff from my Freya S2, but the speed buff's going to be big. And now I'm going to go for the S3. Let's see how much damage I can do here as like a single DPS target or single DPS carry. Honestly, that is not bad. And I got the follow-up hit. If I had a little bit more lattice, I probably would have been able to kill. Oh, nice. I did get the kill there. That's huge. Now, unfortunately, Hoyan is going to have an S3 available with the count, so I'm pretty sure he's going to be able to nuke through any of my defense buffs here on any unit except for pretty much on Schwan Lee. Okay, so I'm too tanky, so he wasn't able to kill my Gianc. Now, I am kind of scared because I kind of want Gianc to actually get another turn. I'm going to go for S2, maybe I get the defense break. Nice, I landed on Mizuzumi, surprisingly. Nice, extra little follow-up. Jackal Guard actually getting some big damage here for the follow-up. Again, I still have cleanses, so Lowen is still kind of a problem, but I think the main way to play around the Hoyan is just because she's so slow. I just have to kill everything around her, and then for the most part, I'll be okay. I'm gonna maybe S1 here. And then I get the follow-up hit from Xuan Lee. I'm gonna be able to get S1. Still just focus down the low end, get another follow-up hit. I missed crit somehow when I'm 98 crit. Don't think I didn't notice that. Okay. Gonna S3 here for tempo. Dreamweave, or sorry, Nightmare. Maybe I can push back. I was not able to kill, unfortunately. But Jackal Guard does actually proc the Amber, which is big for me. Now I get more cycling. I have to work the low end down. You know, I would like to believe that Hoyan can't turn this around, because if she can, that would be kind of absurd. So let's go ahead and go for defense buff and speed buff again with my Schwan Lee. And I still don't have S3, but I'm just going to go for S1. And there we go. You get a little bit of healing on the S1 and the follow-up hit. More tempo with the S1. Another follow-up hit. So I actually think Schwan Lee's damage is a little bit lackluster right now, but that might be a lattice problem, right? It might be a lattice problem. I think that's a really real possibility. More damage coming in. Somehow I keep missing crit. I don't know how, but it keeps happening, and I don't love it. Jackal Guard not able to finish it off just quite, but I'm going to S2 to go for speed or go for tempo. I'm going to be able to cut, and then I can proc S3 to kill off the Lowen, and hopefully I can tank all this damage coming in from the Hoyan. Oh, this is big. I can just actually go S3 here for the turn meter gain. And then Schwan Lee is, well, actually Freya's going to go for the S3 here. I think Hoyan's going to one-shot me, because my Freya isn't exactly the tankiest unit in the world, but maybe? Defense buff? Okay, no, that's not happening. So he brings back Beyond. Oh, shoot. He brought back Beyonton. Oh, that is really bad. I'm gonna S2. Big damage on the S2 though. Holy. Quite impressive, I must say. So right now, the Hoyan does have Soul Ward, so it actually can't do enough here, I think. So I'm just gonna S1 onto the Beyonton. No follow-up hit though. Gonna S2 on the Doki Doki. And I get the S3 again for the defense buff and the speed up, and this should be the game. Well, I guess Beyonton does get the S2. Wait, I misplayed. Wait, he can bring back another character because I misplayed. Oh, shoot. Wait, I just let him bring back another character for free. Does it matter, though? Because I can just S2 now, and then everything just dies, no? Because he can't one-shot 70k HP with defense buff. Oh! Alright, nerf Hoyan, bro. I've seen enough. Nerf Hoyan. Now, one thing about that game that we watched, I think the damage is actually not as bad as I was expecting, because obviously I'm 1-1-1 on the Schwan Lee, and she was still able to do 78k damage on Jackal Guard, which I think is quite impressive. Compared to running something on like Doomcrow, where you can get follow-up damage, where you see units that have follow-up assist like Rahu, right? Doomcrow is obviously the best in slot, but when you pair when you're not using that on a unit like Schwan Lee, I feel like you can play it a little bit faster, especially on something with a Jackal guard. So because you unlock kind of that Swift Smite, right? But 78k is actually not bad for a support that is, yeah, like literally basically just a support. I will say Gianc's damage is a little bit lacking. I think the lack of lattice on S1 and S2 probably did him in, but I can't believe the Hoyan actually one-shot my Gianc. Like, that's just kind of insane. But maybe I'm wrong. Okay, on to the next game. Okay, so into the next game. Again, I have another Gianc debut, but I'm just gonna go for the Doki Doki. It seems like I'm playing the same guy again somehow. I even took a break and I still tagged him, so go figure. I think I have to control Kitos, otherwise Kitos is gonna kind of roll me over. And I do want to S3, but I kind of want to hold it. But I worry that I might not get an opportunity to if I don't just throw it out. So I'm just gonna throw it out. I'm gonna get turn skipped on my I'm unfortunately gonna get turn skipped here. But oh, I didn't land taunt. Oh, I didn't land taunt on Keto, just noticed that. That's not very good. At least I still have bulwark on my Gianc though. There's a taunt. Beautiful. I don't think S2 actually will do enough damage, but I'm down to throw it out. Apply speed down. Beyonton gets the S2. I'm kind of worried. He goes for S3 for crit damage and crit damage buff. Or attack and crit damage buff up, rather. I get the S1. He procs my Amber. Hoyan does have a S3. Does he want to finish off my Doki Doki? I hope not. Can he? Oh, he one-tapped my Gianc. Like, bro, can he just give me the Gianc debut? Like, is that too much to ask for? I just want a Gianc debut, man. Why's this guy gotta do me like that? Alright, we're gonna get the S2 speed buff. Get the CD resets. Beyonce's gonna go for the S2. I think Hoyan just one-shots another unit, and then I'm just dead. Yeah, Gianc, honestly, I thought I would be able to do more there, but clearly not. So that kind of sucks. But I'll go for the S2. I can finish him off. I have another S3 here, so I could try to go for the win. Maybe if I can out-tempo him. He's going to get taunted, and then I kill. Oh, I missed kill. That right there is what I call a lattice dip. Let me see. Attack down. Attack down. I'll just S3 onto the Beyonton. That kills, and then Tia Amelia can cycle. Go on to Kethos. I can... Let me see. Tia Amelia is one turn off. I have JG. Honestly, I probably S1 and outcycle him since I have speed buff. And then now I can go for the S3. I think the scary thing is, because I do proc him, he's gonna proc Soul Ward, which might kill... Oh, I tanked him. That's big, that's big, that's big. Okay, so now I can S3 to heal. And because I locked him down with a low end, he can't really do anything now. He can't bring any units back, and then I finish him off. Beautiful. Let's go. Alright, so we are going to be able to get another game with Schwan Lee and Gianc together. Obviously, the last one, my guy just kind of died, but that's okay. I'm going to S3 with Plume here. Hopefully he's no Strive or any funny business. I'm going to S3 for the pushback. Hopefully I can tag on everything, and then so that Schwan Lee can cut. So Schwan Lee could not cut, which means I could get turn reset here, which is really bad, because Schwan Lee is kind of like a soft Kethos counter, and if I get reset, then it's really bad. Now, I am playing Champion Gator, though, on my Gianc, so they kind of work together in some way, I would say, but I do have Humilia Cleanse coming, but honestly, this doesn't look great for me. I can inflict weakness, or I can inflict wound. One turn. I think it's S3. I will say the animation is pretty sick, though. So I get pretty decent chip damage off. Oh my god, that procs Tiamat. Oh boy. That killed me. That's not very good. That is pretty bad. Oh shoot. Okay. I know I'm laughing, but it's not exactly a laughing matter, so I think I'm dead. I think like my comp is just like too weak to tank down like this. Because the 3-turn reset is, or the 3-turn CD is actually really big, and unfortunately, you're not actually able to get any real damage off here with the Gianc, so I'm gonna die. But one thing I do want to take a look at is we do want to take the damage stats. So we did 96k with Gianc. Honestly, it's not bad because the damage does scale off his HP. So if you're looking for a really big heavy nuke, that is going to be pretty good value, I would say, in my opinion. So definitely something to be mindful of when you're building him. All right, so let me go over some of my closing thoughts for the video. I've got to say, John C definitely seems to be like I keep saying John C. I almost want to say John Cena, but he definitely is the winner of the two units being released between him and Schwan Lee. And I think the sole reason is because of the fact that he does, first of all, he does so much damage. Second of all, he has really good utility. Third of all, he's really easy to build, right? As long as you have a Champion's Gator, I think it's really, really easy to build him. You could interchange like Wellspring Ether Plague with any set, and I think you're kind of chilling. Um, so having him being easy to build is really nice bonus because obviously some units that need like Bramble, Bloodbath, Coloss Guard, or Swift Smite and stuff like that is a little bit harder to build. So I really like the fact that I'm able to actually benefit from my Terramaton sets in the Wellspring and Ether Plague. Xuan Lee, I think, is before I talk about Schwan Lee, I will say that the last priority, I think S3 max is definitely mandatory. I think as you're able to get more lattices into him, having more speed makes him a little bit easier to build, and you're able to get more damage out of him. So, in other words, you're getting more consistency in tankiness. But overall, I think minimum 115 is probably the way to go if you're kind of low on lattice like myself. Now, for Schwan Lee, I would say she's a character that's kind of hard to use because the few games that I got to play her in and the games that I played against her, she didn't really function that well, right? I don't know if it's a lattice issue or whatnot, but obviously I know that the build is not great. I think if you're playing Schwan Lee, you want to have her around that maybe 280 to 300 speed range, and you want to have Red Shadow Dash on your shell so that you can get maximized out on value. I might try that on a different shell, maybe, because right now I'm running Jackal Guard so that I can get extra damage. And also, it helps me with cycling, right? With speed buff and turn meter gain. So to me, I think because I'm running Bloodbath and I need the extra speed and the extra push and the extra cycling, the Jackal Guard really helps with the AP Swift Rush. And if you're around that 280 range on this build, I think it has potential, honestly. But this is not my best gear in terms of Bloodbath or Swift Rush or even my Swift Smite. You can see that it's really, really bad gear, right? Like 6 speed. I got four, like just no really fast gear on this just because I don't think she's that good of a unit to invest in unless you have a lot of lattices into her and you have her like P5, then she becomes like a completely different unit. But unfortunately, I don't have all those resources, and based on what I've seen, I don't think it's really worth investing like that compared to the likes of say Kethos, which is the most recent kinetic unit that XD had dropped, right? So yeah, definitely the winner of the patch is Gianc. Schwan Lee, not so much, but her animation is really nice. So there's that. But that's all the time that I have for today. Hopefully, you guys enjoy the showcase and you guys watch the games and learn a thing or two. Let me know in the comments how you guys are planning on building Schwan Lee and Gianc. And by the time you're watching this, there's going to be probably me streaming on Twitch doing the Gianc and the Schwan Lee games on Etheria. So hopefully you can come in and take a look at that if you're free. But once again, before I end this video, thank you, Etheria, for sponsoring this video. Honestly, I just want to say, XD, you got my money, man. I don't want to expose it. I don't want to expose it, but you got me, all right? You got me. Let's go. All right, well, thanks for watching. Bye!